Hello, I'm Kyle Loxton, joined by Kyle, and you're now listening to the SoulInsights Podcast. Let it rain, be the forecast. C&K coming through with a new broadcast. UK raised at a show on the dog tag. Everything changed, but we always stay on track. Straight face in the place, yeah, I'm on that. Every week a new episode on tap. Same phase, new pace, better contact. Socials, SoulInsights Index. We follow that. Follow that. Follow that. Follow that.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to the SoulInsights Podcast. Another week. We're going to do
this shit existence. What
are we doing?
We are doing is self-reflection.
Yes. We are being reflective on this episode.
We're going to be meaningful, although likelihood is jokes will be occurring.
Yes. Seeing as it's towards the end of the year, I thought, why not be reflective?
And there might be a second part. We don't know. We haven't decided. We need to see what happens.
Yes.
And we will tell you at the end if there's going to be.
One recommendation for the 365, there's an artist called Eden, and he does a 365 review of his year. So inspired this episode because I think he's sick. So we're going straight into it. Here's a recommendation weekly catch up.
Nothing's happened.
Same. Right, weekly catch up. Music recommendation, SI Pop playlist, Nicki Minaj, J. Cole, Let Me Calm Down.
Fucking Nicki Minaj.
And J. Cole's verse on that is insane, and it gives off Logic vibes. So that's what I said to you. He needs to do a song of Logic with that sort of vibe, and it'd be banging.
Oh.
Wasted opportunity.
You're a wasted opportunity.
Exactly.
Right, film recommendation is Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget.
Oh, good.
Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. If you don't know Chicken Run, then get to know her.
I'm watching it straight after this podcast. Fun fact, the first opening scene took 6 months to make.
And the rest of it probably took 6 minutes.
Stop motion is banging, though.
I mean, impossible.
Like, fair play to the skill. AI can't generate that, can they?
Yeah. AI can do everything.
Exactly. Imagine making stop motion at like 2 seconds. You've spent like 20 years making a film just to move someone's leg.
Right. No TV because I didn't know. There was nothing that interested me that came out. Everything seemed shit.
Good.
Game. It's an old game, and I've played it religiously.
Power Wash Simulator?
No, it's not a console game.
Not a console game?
No. I've been playing it for...
Soggy Biscuit.
I have been playing that for a good 10 years, but no. Clash of Clans.
Fuck off.
I've probably said it before, to be honest. Town Hall 16 came out, so that's why I'm saying that.
They did say apparently one of the best mobile games should have been Clash Royale. For the Game Awards that happened. Is that the same as Clash of Clans?
It's a Supercell game, so it's the same makers. They also make Heyday.
But it was someone else that won. But they said Clash Royale should have, because that's the only game that anyone plays on mobile, apparently.
When we were waiting in line for NF, those two people we were talking to, one of them had Clash Royale on their phone. A few times I'd go on it and open his little chests.
Did he?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I used to play that a lot as well, and I've put more money than I'd like to admit into that as well, but I gave up with it because it was just rage-inducing.
What do you reckon your game time is on that? Playtime?
What, on Clash Clans? Oh, fuck.
Can you see it? They
No,
do Clash of Clans wrapped.
Imagine. Considering I used to play
money spent as well.
There's times where I'd play for like 16 hours a day. I'd be on the game for that long.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be like tens of thousands of hours.
R.I.P. your phone.
Every single device that I've played it on, like 9 devices. Sound! Right, we move forward. Metal.
Cocktail. Hey. It is called
That wasn't planned.
Salty Dog.
Oh, I love a good salty dog.
There are 2 breeds of salty dog. The first is made with vodka and is sometimes known as a salty borzoi, while the second is made with gin. Either one is guaranteed to make your tail wag. It is also an agreeable way of topping up your supply of vitamin C, which is nature's protection against hard pad, distemper, and the common cold. Mix 1.5 ounces of gin or vodka with 5 ounces of grapefruit juice and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Pour into a tall glass over ice cubes and stir well. You can now practice some elementary obedience training. After a few salty dogs, even the most undisciplined guest will sit, lie down, and roll over on command.
Especially if you get enough of them, down them.
Grapefruit juice, salt, and gin.
Or vodka.
I
mean, vodka want to be alright.
Salted.
Caramel.
Exactly. So there we go. Are you going to do any cocktails over Christmas? Are you trying any?
I'll just put a concoction of whatever the fuck I've got into a glass.
That's giving me an idea, actually. For our Christmas episode, we'll do the jelly shot, if you want. Which is not jelly donut shot, jam donut shot,
right,
depending if you're American or English. But it's the Chambord and Baileys you can have together, or you can have double cream. It tastes like a jam donut. Get your verdict on it.
We shall have them next week.
Yes, we need to buy some. Banger. Right, Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. I went with Chapter 1 by John Koenig. Between living and dreaming, seeing the world as it is and the world as it could be. And I thought this word was relatable to the podcast episode. It's called The Till.
Cool.
The reservoir of all possible opportunities still available to you at this point in your life. All the countries you still have the energy to explore, the careers you still have the courage to pursue, the skills you still have time to develop, the relationships you still have the heart to make. Like a pail of water you carry around in your head, which starts off feeling like an overwhelming burden, but steadily draws down as you get older, splashing gallons over the side every time you take a step. You go silent every time.
Okay. That's honestly, contemplating words and the meaning behind the thoughts that come out of the trepidatious existence of reality always confuses me.
Yeah. It's basically just like the you still have all these opportunities in your life that you can still do. Never feel like you never can do them, basically.
Until you get some stuff.
Until you get old enough, and then you realise that some do go, obviously, but you still have all these other opportunities. So don't put yourself out because you're an old dickhead.
Makes sense, to be honest, with the whole like travelling and learning new things and all that sort of thing, doesn't it? Like,
well, they say one with like a travel visa, holiday working visa, they expire at 35, do they? Or 30 in some countries.
I don't know. It probably depends what you're going to do. Like
you
wouldn't get old people like
grape picking.
Older people, fruit picking, would you? Because obviously they're not going to be able to do it as efficiently.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Maybe they'll have problems with backs.
Well, especially if you're
like
the employer, you're not going to hire.
Yeah.
You'd rather hire the kid, wouldn't you? Probably.
Yeah.
Well, of age, obviously.
But then
child labour.
Child labour laws in
sometimes it
Australia
feels
might
like
be different.
Not just Australia.
No, but that's obviously the one we're on about.
Yeah. It's basically that, like all the possibilities. So, like you said, you still have a lot of energy to visit all the countries.
Yeah.
Sometimes, obviously, one of the accounts we follow on TikTok, isn't it, is sort of energy when travelling is hilarious. I think,
Shout out # Brady.
Yeah, exactly. When he travels,
his
it's
actual account is.
banter. And I said it's cool to have that sort of energy. But I guess as you get older, you probably get a bit more caution, don't you? Unless you still just keep that.
Depends on you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a self-reflective point. It depends on you.
Or you wait until you have a bad experience, and then you probably rein it in a little bit, don't you? Sometimes, like, if you have something mad happen to you, like, okay.
No. You have a bad experience, you think, how can I make it worse next time?
Yeah, exactly. But then it says, like you said, obviously if you're young enough, careers you still have courage to pursue, and skills you have time to develop. Like, you still got time.
Yeah.
And relationships if you haven't been heartbroken.
But then you can be 90 years old and you can do all of this as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
if you want to learn to skateboard, learn skateboard.
Yeah. You might die quite quickly, but
who cares? Not you, because you'll be dead. Motherfucker. Right, okay. Right, main topic.
Main to pick.
Yearly reflection.
So, I mean, we've kind of thought it through, but
you haven't
not
bothered.
Entirely. I looked, but then you said you had so many questions, and I thought if we're going to make 2 parts, then we can do it that way. So you have some questions that were standing out to you.
Yeah.
And then we can do another episode where questions stand out to me, but we both answer all of the questions at all times.
Yeah, okay.
So the likelihood is that he's got some sort of idea of what he's actually going to say.
Yeah.
And I've got no fucking clue what the questions even are. So
I'll try and word
you're probably going to be more articulate with your wording than me.
Well,
and I'm going to be like, what's the point?
I'll try and word it in a way where I can give another way of asking it after saying it, isn't it? Just so it sinks in. Because sometimes when someone's asking you a question, you can just zone out, isn't it? I like it sometimes if you're reading it because you're taking in. If someone's just telling you something, sometimes your mind's just symbol monkey, isn't it?
But as well, the thing with the questions is they do require some thought.
Yeah, but not too much though. Like it's on you, isn't it? Topic.
As in trying to like think of like a situation that you used to do that you enjoyed or something. Like you actually sit here and think like, shit, which one's going to be the best to pick, or like what can I pick?
Okay,
but we'll see what.
Let's go into it. So I'll start it off with this thing called self-examination. There's loads of different steps to doing it. It's part of meditation, but I thought I'd get you just a little taster of what it could be. But this is off a website called positivepsychology.com. So I've just screenshotted 2 self-examinations which you can do. So a couple of exercises. Let's do it. So it's not telling you to do anything. It's just this is what. Imagine yourself doing it. Go on. So it goes, sometimes when we work very hard to do good things, we get to a level of comfort with that fact and we begin to talk about it to others. That can be a great thing in that it allows us to own our own efforts and our actions, and with that acknowledge our goodness to ourselves. But for this exercise, consider how you might feel if you were to do things that are good, but only for your own knowledge. The next time you do something really wonderful, try keeping that wonderful thing to yourself and not sharing it with anyone. Often when a person is good and loving, they don't have to tell anyone. It's a truth that shines from every angle of their person. As an experiment, keep some knowledge to yourself as a gift to you.
So you don't feel the need to actually share,
Tell them or
like, say your accomplishments or something that you've done, because
you let your actions say it.
At the end of the day as well, who gives a fuck if they know or not? Like, as long as you know and you're happy. Like,
there's a podcast that I listened to recently, and it says a lot of people have excuses or things, and you never see much action. So why would you just, like John Wick energy, just stay quiet and let your actions be your reputation?
As well, on that then, well, kind of, when you said, like, some part of that I can't remember now. Don't regret the things you have done. You shouldn't regret anything. You should the only thing you should regret is something that you didn't do.
Yeah.
If you've done something, you can learn from it, kind of thing, and move on and grow, essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, if you don't do it, then you're going to kick yourself afterwards.
Exactly. But it's basically, it's like an easy enough examination, isn't it? Was it buzzing?
Yeah.
I would say this mic is a bit fired, so if it's doing the buzzing, we'll have to get new ones in the years. But it's an easy enough examination. Like you said, this easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is this one that you'll find funny, I think. Do you frequently interrupt people or constantly think of your own stories to share while they are talking? If you're like a lot of social people, the answer is probably yes. You could think of it the other way and say, do you ever feel like you're interrupted by someone trying to say a better story to you, trying to one-up?
Yeah, so I know the exact situation you're thinking.
So I know I've been on the receiving, but I've probably been on the other end as well. In order to relate to others, we have to share a little bit of ourselves with them. Your stories can help you establish common ground with others or make you closer with them. However, if you're only focused on sharing your stories, it can distract you from the greater purpose of a conversation. In our eagerness to relate, please, entertain and share, we often remove ourselves from the present, reducing our ability to be sensitive and engaged listeners. Even if we spend our whole lives trying to be good listeners, sometimes we slip out of practice in empathizing or identifying with the person we're talking to, or we lose an opportunity to comfort or entertain the other person. Next time you have a conversation with a loved one and you find yourself thinking ahead of them, take a moment to pause and truly listen. Don't think about how you can personally identify with what they are talking about, and don't search your memory bank for a relevant story of your own, just listen. It's a rewarding experience to truly soak in what another person is saying, both for you and the other person. Such a good practice, to be honest.
So, you don't want to be me.
No.
But the problem is, you'll get some people where you'll be trying to talk.
Yeah.
And if it's yes and no answers, one-word answers all the time, then you kind of have to go that way of talking about yourself. And then somebody might tell you a story, and then it's like, right, what do I do now? So I'm going to have to sit here and ask you a load of questions, aren't I? Just to like kind of keep you going with it.
See what I mean.
But yeah, basically, don't try and relate to everything that anybody says. Always like
be truthful about you as well. If you can't relate, then you just makes you more like listen even more, because you could learn from what they might be saying. Or if they're just chatting shit, like you said, if you can't get a word in edgeways, and you're not really part of the conversation anyway, because it is just you're on the receiving end then, isn't it? Or you're trying to speak, and then all of a sudden you're just getting buttered, and you're just like, great.
So that's why I'm usually quite quiet, because I'll be saying something, somebody else will like start talking over the top of me, and I'll just think, what's the point?
Yeah,
I give up. I'm not bothering talking anymore, because clearly you don't
care, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't care enough to actually sit and listen. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just not going to bother.
Plus, it's more attractive, say, if someone's actually listened to you and maybe responded, linked, rather than say you're speaking to me and I've already thought of the next thing I'm going to say. So my mind's on that. So you're talking to me, but you're talking just to a face. Right?
Yeah,
and
you're not paying any attention to what I'm saying, because you're like, oh, I've got to say this now. I've got to say this.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to say this, and it's like, oh shit, what did you just?
Why don't you just let you actually finish your point and then you say it, isn't it? Whether it's completely off topic, but it's how a conversation. I mean, conversation is like you want to relate, isn't it? What's the point? Otherwise, it is like you said, interrogation. Yeah.
Then the most frustrating thing is you're having a conversation with somebody. Like I'll have a conversation with you, yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody else will come over and start talking to you whilst we're in the middle of the conversation, and then you end up talking to them, and then I'm like, well,
Oh,
what's the fucking point then? Like, we were having a conversation. You should then be telling the other person, hang on.
Yeah.
Unless, like, say you're at work or something that's actually important. But
I'm not really like that.
But no, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
I'm just
trying to
you
relate
as
to
the
you.
example,
Obviously. Yeah.
That, maybe you should tell them to wait, finish your conversation, and then go and be like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of
So it shows you're just some sort of off-topic thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some sort of like, I'll just pick you back up and I'm bored or whatever. But I imagine, like, say if we went off to like a festival or something, I wouldn't just go off and try and involve you at the same time, and even though you can have a three-way conversation. If you're quite good at it, even if I know you can't relate to what we're going to be saying, I'll still involve you in
just
it.
stand there and be like, yeah,
but
great.
That's the whole point of it, though. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's only awkward if you know what I mean? If you are, you are.
It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
Yeah. That's up to you. And I don't try and put yourself out of yourself to blend in or
don't
try and be accepted or that bullshit.
Yeah, join into the conversation and be like, me when you're on about a situation
like the
you
Euros,
know nothing about.
To you. About football. I know everything about
it. Ajax.
Exactly.
Yeah, with you.
I'd embrace that, though.
Yeah, the Euros.
Shit. They're playing shit, apparently, at the minute.
Yeah, they are. They're awful.
Good. Well, they deserve that name. So, besides Turkish football as well, you can say that, Vinith. It's got bantered at the minute.
It's postponed indefinitely.
Oh, right. Because I said to my stepdad, do you know when it's not going to be suspended? He said no, until they've sorted it, I guess. Because the actual president did it, wasn't it? Mad.
Yeah. So it's suspended indefinitely, so they don't know when it's going to come back. They need to figure out the situation.
That's mental.
But the person tried to say that he just wanted to go over and like slap his shoulder or something like that, and it's like, yeah, it looks like you wanted to slap him with your fist, doesn't it?
And he's on the floor and they're kicking him.
Yeah.
Slap. But
honestly.
So yeah, they're the two. I mean, there's plenty of examinations, but they're the two that are probably quite relatable. Like, imagine when I saw them, I said, you could probably relate to those two, so it was easy for you to. Some of them
actually
are
understand.
A bit more meditation, so it's like, whether you're not interested in it, then you probably zone out by the time I'm halfway through my sentence. Right, 15. Well, I'm up to 15.
However many questions we get
bored, basically.
Right. Thank you for listening.
Exactly. So this is from A Simple and Contented Life. So I'm just going to go in order like this, because I just
and wherever we get to, we stop and we can carry on next time.
We start in the question on an NF vibe. What does success look like to you? What's my definition of success?
Listening to what your heart says.
It's basically NF Hope. His definition of success.
Everything with both hands. Sucking
I might search that whilst just saying that. Well,
what's the definition of success?
Success.
Listening to what your heart says. Being brave enough to dream big. Don't quit or some shit.
Here we go. Listening to what your heart says. Standing up for what you know is right while everybody else is tucking their tail between their legs. What's my definition of success? Creating something no one else can. Being brave enough to dream big. Grinding when you're told to just quit. Giving more when you've got nothing left. It's a person that will take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times, and there ain't one. It's when someone who ain't never had nothing ain't afraid to walk away from more profit because they'd rather do something that they really love and just take the pay cuts. Basically is.
Shut up enough.
But yeah. It is the definition of success, I think, is for me on the lines of NF. His headspace is similar to mine. What's the view?
Being happy and doing what you actually want to do.
Exactly. Regardless of pay, love.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I saw something the other day, actually. It's funny how things come up when you need them to. When you're in your, I think it was when you're in your like early 20s, or maybe just say 20s in general, money actually matters. As soon as you get past a certain point, or like you start thinking differently, you realise it doesn't. So it was an example of somebody in a job who could earn like $1 million a year or whatever, but he absolutely hated the job, and then he switched to doing something he actually liked for very much less, but it was enough to feed him and his family and pay for the house and all that sort of shit, but he was actually happy in himself. So which one do you want? And then as you get older, you realise that you don't actually need money.
No.
As long as you can cover your needs, your basic needs, then why do you need the extra, really?
They had a podcast with some of the rich people, and they say even if you have that much money, you don't find much to get excited about. There's no hunger.
Yeah.
So what do? You just do some mad wild shit that probably might get you killed to actually find that excitement, because got everything. So
and even then, you're probably not that bothered by it, are you?
No,
like,
you're
just doing it.
A lot of stuff.
You're just doing it because you're in the public eye and people are going to see you doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So content.
Yeah.
It's always
That's
content.
a grim way of living. But I'd say it's very similar to NF and like similar to you. It's just like as long as you're happy doing it, I think it's successful, isn't it? If you, whatever orientation you want to do, family orientated career, as long as you feel like you're successful within that, isn't it? It doesn't matter.
No, exactly.
We'll be dead in 100 years.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's self-reflection. Who gives a fuck what other people think?
Exactly. So
There's a song lyric in there somewhere.
yeah,
You can make a right little tune about that.
I think it is. It's like
Like
as
the
long
NF
as you
one,
just feel and you just, I've got a feeling I might be a case of helping others as well. For me, part of success is like you can try and inspire some people to actually do something for themselves.
Yeah.
Rather than just be told all the time, but not like rebellious about it. Just actually try and look inside yourself. And actually, like, what do you really want? Are you just doing this because you've been told to, or like you think this is what society's like? You know what I mean? Just do what you want to do. Are you happy doing this? Then do it.
And you're not happy about doing it?
Don't do it.
Kill yourself.
Yeah. Right. So that's easy enough, isn't it? I mean, everyone
Yeah.
have a different answer to success. It's not just get a load of money.
Yeah, but that
Fuck
will be some
bitches
people's answers.
and-
Yeah.
It just gets boring after like a month, probably. So. Too many times to sexual health clinic if you're doing that. It's like boring and that long.
You basically would be the sexual health clinic.
Boring.
Just buy your own.
Boring. What's your favourite self-care activity? Why do you enjoy it so much?
So, I mean, well, that's essentially what do you like doing to make yourself happy?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It could be basic. It doesn't have to be anything deep.
You could be a basic bitch about it. Well, what if I like going deep?
You like watching The Office and stuff, though? Like, because you say there's a reason why you watch that. It's because you like zoning out, isn't it? Technically, that's self-care, isn't it? Because you like zoning out and like you find your comfort in that.
So my first mind would have gone to when I always did jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
You just sat there in a world of your own, just like 1,000 happy little friends.
Yeah. Technically, it's self-care.
Um,
Jim, you're doing that.
I haven't in a while.
It's more of a physical self-care.
You do feel better.
Yeah.
When you've been.
And,
doing the
and
gym,
that as well.
in all
Actually, yeah, you
fairness.
feel good stuff. Isn't
Yeah.
It? Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I'd say like PlayStation,
Podcast.
TV.
Using your mind,
shit
isn't it?
like this,
Engaging your mind sometimes, probably like like video editing. If you're doing it for something you actually want to edit a video too,
Yeah.
you probably quite like that. I mean, yeah, it's still work, but you're doing something you like as well, isn't it? So technically,
Yeah,
it's
it's
self-care because you're not just doing some shit job killing your brain, is it? Making you miserable. You're actually choosing to do a job that's making you happy. That's self-care. You know what I mean?
Billie Jean.
But I'd say it's probably making music. Probably my favourite is that, actually. Then PlayStation.
Well, yeah, I suppose you switch off. Well, you engage in your brain, as you say, for your music. You're actually getting your thoughts out of your head, which is something that
self-care,
you
yeah.
obviously don't
Yeah.
like, having things rattling around in your head, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good way of doing it. I like wording it in a way that's, like you said earlier, it's not all about me being. Like NF vibe, you try and do it in a way that you could word it or write it in a way that's relatable to other people. Can
Other
find
people
themselves in
can
that situation.
Draw something
Yeah.
from it, can't they? Yeah.
That's what I like writing
Not
about.
just some shit little story that you're
About
telling
me.
about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it said, like, similar to you with the jigsaw, it's probably PlayStation for me.
Yeah.
I like zoning out doing that. Obviously, some of
2,000
PlayStation wrapped,
hours.
isn't it?
Yeah.
50 odd days of the year on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I love it though.
Surprised.
But I like I'm probably go geeky about it. I like more, rather than just the game, I like everything that goes into a game. It's a whole team of designers and artwork designers, voice actors, all that. So you just appreciate, the more you do something, the more of the little things I think you think about, isn't it? Like the more specialized things are. Like, there's a whole team that's about sound design in a game and lighting. It's like, that's pretty cool. To be
Yeah,
honest.
which is where, when you said to me the other day, when we're fucking Dead Islands,
Oh yeah.
Definitive Edition, and I went on it, having played PS5, and I was like, the fuck is this? It plays at like 2 frames a second. And you're like, nah, that's well smooth. There must be something wrong with yours. I'm like, no, I'm just used to a higher standard now, aren't I?
Yeah, exactly.
So you saying that, you like all the little intricate things.
Yeah.
If you played on the PS5 and you noticed like the difference in the frame rate is the main thing, but then performance, ray tracing, fucking resolution and all that, you would notice a difference going back to older stuff. Which, yeah, obviously, as you say, I can't even remember what the question was at this point.
But then could you define the thing from masterpiece to... So you would notice a masterpiece rather than just it being dated. You're not stuck in nostalgia as well. Like, that game is decent no matter what year you play it. You'll still find that decent. Or is that because you played it... Like Skate 3, I still think I'd find that insane.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's not an old game. It's a game that plays like games do now. It's not like...
Crash Bandicoot.
That's what I was going to say. Or like, I've played the PS1 version of Spyro and then the PS4 version of Spyro, and the difference is ridiculous.
Is it? Yeah. Don't know. It'd be interesting.
So it's nice when they remake the game to a better standard. Like the Tomb Raider games are coming out, and they've been buffed up, haven't they?
The old ones, and boring.
Yeah, the ones where she's got triangle tits.
Yeah, exactly.
So it'd be interesting to see.
Like Uncharted, isn't it, down the line? Give that like 50 years, though, because that's going to obviously be banging at the minute, but see how lame that looks like.
Yeah. When you've got fucking 3D stuff and holograms coming out of TV and whatever else.
Uncharted's so good.
Exactly.
So yeah, self-care could be anything. I mean, again, it'd be exercise. Yeah, like you said, it's the same as you. It's just to feel good, isn't it? And I can see why some people use the gym as their sort of way, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
just getting your feelings out. Right. How can you step out of your comfort zone more?
I mean, use last year as an example, and some of this year, I suppose.
What would be your comfort zone? Do you know that?
My bedroom.
But mentally, not physically. What do you think is your comfort zone? Like familiarity? So, things, routine, do you like that? Or does it matter if someone throws you off your routine?
I'm not too fussed about routine, because obviously used to work in hospitality where the routine was like fucked.
Yeah.
Where you just kind of like day to day, every day's different sort of thing. So you've not got a set plan, which now obviously I have. I keep forgetting the fucking point where I was going with anything.
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone.
Because I know you've got structure now, so it gives you more time to figure out your free time. So you can actually focus on yourself a bit more rather than just work. Because you didn't maybe like your job anyway, your whole life's consumed by something you didn't particularly like, isn't it?
You didn't necessarily want to be doing, So it's like, I don't like talking to people, really. Like, if somebody new walks up to me, nah. So, situation at work.
Yeah.
I had my Christmas party last night at work, and apparently, it seemed like I was talking a lot, but I was quite drunk. And then at work today, we went up into the kitchen. This is a person that I'd never spoke to in my life before last night, and she was like, or Sam was talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, I can tell you've sobered up because you've gone quiet again." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No, right.
Yeah. So it's like, it's suddenly like, it's quite noticeable in that sort of sense, but I don't like talking to new people.
But so how would you reckon you'd feel like you'd step out of that rather than choose alcohol as your way of talking to people? Travel? Your confidence like that?
Not necessarily. I'm going to say buffer people. So if you're in a group of people, then you've got more reason that you can actually talk.
I'd imagine if you went out with a group of your mates anyway, you've got that initial confidence, isn't it? Like, oh, I've got my mates anyway. Like, if someone new joins, fine. And then it gives you the confidence to possibly talk to randomers because you've got your initial group anyway. Yeah. Rather than if you went to a hostel and you're staying in a dorm with 7 other people, you don't know what's going on.
Worse.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But yeah, I don't know. Step out of comfort zone. Probably just travel more. Just build up my confidence and realise that nothing actually means that much.
Anything, yeah.
Don't overthink.
So that's where the past, let's just say this year and last year has helped. That we have gone everywhere. We've been on a bit of a madness with travelling, haven't we? Really?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely helped though. Like changed mindset, just for the better, to be honest. And even like giving you long-term goals, and it's built your character. It's done loads of stuff like in the background, isn't it? You obviously have your initial journey that you just do banter in the country, but you come back and you're just different, and I think you're just a bit more grown.
You can look at things from a different perspective or some shit like that.
But I do feel like with the confidence, it's like what you said, as you get older, I think you just naturally just start caring less about things, and you focus more on what makes you happy rather than caring what other people think or say to you. You just, as you're getting older, it's like, it doesn't actually mean that much, does it?
So there's the phase in the middle. Well, not in the middle. It's not at the very beginning of your life, but it's like when you're, let's go with the age.
We're at the realization period.
12 to mid-20s, or like teens to mid-20s sort of thing, where you care about stuff too much. when you're younger, so they say about learning a language, it's easier to learn a new language when you're a kid because you don't care if you make mistakes. When you start trying to learn it as like an adult, then you care too much. Like, you don't want to make the mistake, so you don't necessarily put yourself in the situation where you can learn it.
I see what you mean.
But then again, you'd get to a point, 30, let's just say, where you think, oh, actually, it's childish to think like that. Everybody goes through it. Like people that go back to university when they're like 50.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just want to better your life at the end of the day, don't you? So just let people do it, and you realise that people want to do what they want to do, and why should you stop standing in the way of them, sort of thing.
Well, like you said, you just want to better your life. Doesn't matter when or where you do it.
You're never too old to learn a new skill.
For actually just stepping out and doing it. And that's a way of stepping out your comfort zone. Because like you said, you get just stuck in routines and everything. And then if you've had like a wake-up call and it's just like, actually, you know what I mean? Like, I want to try something. At least if it didn't work out, you say you tried. Because like what everyone says, you could just look back and say, I wish I gave it a go.
So only regret the things you didn't do. There you go. Back to what I said earlier.
Back to Love Live Life kitchen science. Number 4, what keeps you grounded? I feel like we're quite good at being grounded anyway.
I was going to say, it's not like you go off on a madness and like think that you're better than
Big
you
dick
are or
energy
anything
sort of
like
thing.
that.
I don't mind that, like, it's confidence. But I do think it's...
Yeah,
the music's helped.
It's when you turn into a prick.
Yeah,
that's when it becomes a problem, and a cocky,
Unless you're a boxer or something, where trash talking's decent, but... that's for
or
the
a
sport,
gamer.
isn't it? But if you're just in all-round, just general bellend, then...
I can think of a few of those.
But I think we're quite good anyway, because like you said, if you get called Kyle Pilks, you just say honest stuff anyway, isn't it? So if something's shit, you won't just try and hype it up for the sake of someone's ego.
I wouldn't say I've ever not been grounded.
Yeah,
if that's the right way to say that.
Under the ground.
Not grounded. So I've always been grounded. Except for as a child, I didn't get grounded because I was a good boy.
Yeah.
I
think it's all right. I mean, from previous experience, I think some people say they like hanging around with, sort of the vibes because you just do whatever.
What keeps you grounded? Knowing I'm not a complete bellend.
Just, being self-aware enough that you know who you are. You don't lose yourself in a group of yes men or... Actually
caring about yourself and, others and not just wanting to be... not wanting to be me, bringing it back to that.
I'd say partially for me is what keeps you grounded is probably having other people who are. You know what I mean? Like, they try and keep you, like...
Yeah.
Because I feel like certain things could happen. I said to my mate, well, I could probably get carried away with certain things, but he said, no, I wouldn't let you do that because you just start telling you a bellend. He knows you enough that it's just like, no, you've had enough. Like drinking or whatever, isn't it? I'll get carried away with that. I wouldn't say it's grounded, but that's the self-indulgent and bad habits. But I'd have mates there that would say you're acting like a dick. That they wouldn't be afraid to say that because I wouldn't react and fight you or anything, is it? So you're grounded enough.
Amsterdam, first time.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Exactly. But you let me do that, so it's bad. At least you witnessed what.
Well, no. I'd like to specify. I tell you that you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I still
especially with that bottle of wine, and you did anyway. Because there's other people there that are egging you on.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point, especially when you've already been drinking. It's like, fuck it.
But it can be, so that's the only thing. It's in certain situations, isn't it? But like daily, I think it's all right. You know what I mean? Honest. You just stay honest, self-aware. You know what you're doing.
You're not a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not making other people feel, you know what I mean? Like, what's it called? What you just said. Egging people on. Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Not trying to make someone be uncomfortable for the sake of your...
amusement.
Yes. What topics could you talk all day about? Suicide.
Football is probably the easiest one.
Oh, yeah, you could, yeah.
Gaming, I suppose, TV. Things from the entertainment industry and certain sports. Football, definitely. I'll probably go waffling on about some other stuff.
So, if I put you in the position, if you wanted to make a podcast, 'cause obviously that's all audio-based, isn't it? What would be your top topic that you would specialise in? Football. You'd be a punter.
No.
Pundit, even.
I'd probably say games.
Gaming one.
Yeah. I don't know.
But would you go geeky with it? Like, not geeky, but like, would you go really in depth with each game? Like, would you...
Yeah, you could essentially. Like, it'd be easier for me to do that. You start talking about.
I think you'd find that really boring. I think you'd find that.
Yeah, but then when if you're actually playing the games, like you could do video, playing the games and sort of shit. Football, I don't think I know enough about.
I think you'd be good at reviewing stuff. I think you'd find the technical stuff too boring.
You could go into it.
So you'd have your opinion of, like, it'd be your honest one, because like you said, it would have a selling point.
So it'd be opinion based, whatever I did. And then you could go into specifics as well. But football, because of all the like history stuff, I'm not great with it. That's the problem.
But you might get into it the more you did it, obviously, isn't it? If it's your job, isn't it?
Yeah, because you'd be researching it and all that, wouldn't you? Like, you have to find out all this shit.
Yeah. But then you'd want to, I guess, because that's your topic you like, so you're keen to learn it, isn't it?
But yeah, I could do football easy. Dad jokes. Top topic.
I'd say probably travel. I could talk all day about someone who's like-minded. Music, definitely. I could just speak, like,
That's what you do anyway.
Music would be the best,
Shrek.
Shrek. Stuff like this. I like the self-reflection stuff. I could talk all day about, like meditation practices and self-coaching, self-help stuff.
Bettering yourself.
I could talk all day about that. Or listen all day about like what everyone else like has their own. I love listening to, like you said, they have their own story, but they've said it in a way where you feel inspired from what they've said, and it's just like a coaching sort of thing. It's not just like, I've done this, why aren't you doing it sort of thing. It's kind of like, from doing this, it's given me this perspective on things,
giving more of a reason to do it.
So stuff like that. And gaming, I could probably talk all day about, but like you said, I don't know if I could go too technical with it, because I think I would just lose interest a little bit.
Would you be able to go that technical with it, do you think?
No. I could probably talk all day about it, but maybe not.
Talk all day about it.
The money's saved, you know what I mean? If I get paid enough, then
it'd just be like chatting shit about games, wouldn't it? Like, that's where I'd go.
Porn, that's what you're doing, isn't it? Sex industry.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, there's probably music being the main one. What do you find yourself complaining about the most?
People.
Yes. Probably.
There's not even a
You'd
question
second
about
that for
that.
you, isn't it?
Honestly.
The weather,
people.
UK.
No, fuck that. I don't give a shit what the weather's doing. If it decides to tornado outside, then it's tornado, isn't it?
What you think, what's your main complaint of people then?
Their existence.
Rather than that. Could you people watch? Because you're quite good at that. No, like in Tomorrowland banter.
Yeah, people watching, you don't necessarily find out much about the individual.
But just in your way, or just pointless comments that are just unnecessary comments being made, or you just find them irritating?
So, irritation, and let's say unnecessarity.
Like to existence or a particular topic?
No, like, it's
just,
like...
just being there.
Let's just say in a work situation, you're trying to do some work, and they just turn up, and they're trying to, like, tell you, like, maybe you should do it this way, and it's like, mate, I'm doing it, just leave.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't like the one where they've lived more of a life, or they have more experience, so they try and school you.
So, I've got an example on that. When I worked in a hotel, a manager came in, I was management, and another manager came in, and he was, so I would have been, I'm just going to say 24, and he was, say, 40, and me and one other person were like, oh, we're training him, so we're like showing him this is how the system works, and this is the best way to do this and that, and he's like, you're not telling me, I'm not listening to you. And it's like, well, I'm just trying to tell you how this stuff works because you haven't used it before. No, I've got more experience than you. I know what I'm doing.
Wow.
You can't tell me. I tell you what to do. And I'm like, mate, we're in the same position.
I hate that.
I technically am higher than you at the moment because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Did you say you can't know? Can you say that?
Well, he ended up quitting because he was a useless twat.
Didn't know he's done.
So
exactly. But just get humble, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just because somebody is
Absolutely
younger doesn't mean to say they don't know what they're doing.
But I do say sometimes that's a shame with the music industry. I would say it's a bit like that. But I know sometimes you get told where you just focus on the art, you just focus on the music and try and let the people in suits, like the promos and stuff like that. But when you're an independent artist, you're juggling all these different things and you're constantly being fucking told what to do and what's the best route. And you says, don't do that, you don't get anywhere. But then you listen to another story, they've done that and you know what I mean? So it's like, it's each other's journey. So it's like, I'm going to do it and see, but you don't want to be so naive in yourself, you know what I mean, so defensive and just like, don't tell me what to do, because I know they probably specialize in that area, but don't come across like a bellend.
They need to try and help more instead of being like being direct is good, but to a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly. Because you just lose your confidence then, and then that like reflects back to your music then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you can't be asked, it's like, what was the point? You know what I mean?
So what's yours then? What's your actual answer?
I don't know if it is just people in general though, because I think people can make or break a moment as well.
Yeah, they can, but obviously it's the situations
Complain.
where you know
exactly.
that people are a nightmare.
I don't know. I don't know what I complain about. I'd have, like you said, I'd probably have to ask you why I just keep complaining. It's just little things probably that you just say I'll keep just mentioning.
Yeah, there's probably quite a lot of things that you don't need to be moaning about, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I probably do the same as well.
But that's the perk of overthinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just overthink about 700 possibilities.
It's the perk of existing.
I'd say it's probably complaining about something that hasn't even happened yet. Forward thinking in the wrong way, actually. So you notice that you're doing something. I've already planned out the outcome and I'm already complaining about it. And we haven't even done it.
Yeah.
That's what I would have, actually. So I probably need to stop forward thinking.
Yeah, so complaining about a situation that might not even happen.
Assuming the worst outcome already. And you haven't even given it a shot. So like a football match, you're already going to lose, sort of thing.
Well, when you support Man United.
But it's not as bad as football, man. Nah, I'd still have that go-to. But, like certain things, isn't it? That involves certain people, maybe.
Especially
so it could be people.
Where you can't necessarily predict it as well. Like, what makes you think that's even going to happen? With football, so this would have already happened, so you can laugh at me or you can be like, wow, he was so wrong. Man United haven't beat Liverpool at Anfield in fucking years. The last time they did, the team was just banter, to be honest. Fellaini was in it.
Bang.
So it was great. But that gives you the reason. I don't even think Man United have scored at Anfield in a long time. Or they've got like one goal to Liverpool's like 30. So what makes you think that the outcome's going to be anything good?
Exactly.
Like, I've predicted 4-1 Liverpool, for instance. So, should I have put a bet on it?
Yeah.
But there's actually a reason to kind of like doubt something. Whereas something else, like, what if the chicken doesn't cook properly? So, what makes you think the chicken's not going to cook properly? As long as you do it properly, the outcome's going to be okay, isn't it? Sort of thing. Should.
There's one, I think you'd probably be able to relate. Let's say planning social events.
Yeah.
And you already know some people are just going to bottle it or do some shit excuse. And so, like, what's the point of me even making the event then if no one's going to bother? So then you don't. But then you could have made it and actually everyone turned up. And then, you know what I mean? But you're just assuming that everyone just can't be asked. So you're just already disappointed with everyone before they've even opened your mouth.
Then it's, don't make up some shit excuse. If you don't want to go, just be like, that sounds like a shit idea. I do not want to be there.
Don't just leave it to the last minute the night before or something, and then everyone just goes, no, isn't it? And you just sat there. Like,
but then it's, sorry, I'm ill. Oh, my nan's coming down from Truro. Oh, great.
Yeah, just no.
I don't know what made me say Truro.
It's probably complete like that. So planning socials, that's why I don't really do it. I know, like you say, you're normally game, isn't it? And you'd probably say if you're not. So that's why we normally just go off and do it. And then we meet randomers out there. Because then, like you said, the relationship only is short term.
So you just meet them for a day and then it's like, well.
That was it. That was a phase.
All I needed was 2 minutes.
Right. Are you as confident as you would like? How can you improve your self-confidence?
I ain't confident. Like, virtually at all, sort of thing.
Are you as confident as you would like? Are you happy with being not confident though? You don't need to be like mad confidence, do you?
If this is
as long as you're happy with yourself.
If this is how I am for the rest of my existence, then I wouldn't be mad or annoyed or anything, enough. To be honest. Like, I'll start a new job and I'll be like shitting bricks sort of thing. Like, I'm not going to like it. I don't like these people or anything like that. And then you get like, obviously you stay there for a bit and you're like, oh, actually, why was I worried? Sort of thing. So your confidence does build quite easily, to be honest. Bungee jumping. Standing on the side, just looking down like, fuck. Yeah. And then you jump off and you're like, oh, okay, it's all right, actually, sort of thing. Like. So,
from you just saying those 2 points, how you would improve your self-confidence is just through experience. The more you experience stuff, Nike, the more you just say it.
Just do
it. But the more you've gone through stuff, the more you actually like, actually, it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah. So, I always bring up the exact same points I have like 5 minutes ago, is the past 2 years, where I said to you, I thought in the first place, like, right, if anything happens, I'll just say, yeah, fuck it. And then obviously we've been here, there, and everywhere, and it probably has helped me quite a lot.
Yes, man.
Getting out and seeing stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
say
man.
yes to everything.
Until it comes to certain situations, and you might have to say no because you don't want to break the law.
Yeah. Well, it's all fun. Part of the fun, isn't it?
It's all shits and giggles until someone shits in your coffee.
It's on your chest.
That's fun.
Right. Let's. Yeah, I'd say. I don't really know. I'm slowly getting more confidence. I think the music's definitely helped.
Not gonna lie. If you'd have said at 17 when you were at school with your trousers pulled up around your nipples that you were going to do music, I'd have laughed at you.
Yeah, be on stage sort of thing.
And then tried to pants you, but your trousers would have just come down to your waist from your nipples.
Yeah, exactly. I'll still go around my trousers up into my nipples, to be fair. It's probably a new trend, isn't it?
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah, no, I think the music's helped a lot because, like you said, it's just more of you just... I guess like it's a way of being a therapeutic way. As soon as you talk about your problems, you feel like you've overcome certain things. So you got the confidence from you just saying stuff.
Yeah, but then it's you knowing what you're talking about as well.
Exactly,
which
and you're
obviously
confident
gives you
to as well.
Confident
to an audience,
in a situation where you're talking to other people that know what they're talking about as well. That you're actually fitting in the conversation rather than being like an outcast.
Yeah, exactly. And travel, I think, improves self-confidence, isn't it?
Travel helps because you have to interact with other people then. So
yeah, and you have to, like, if you're in the shit, especially long distance, you will be. So I quite like putting yourself in that situation that it is that, because then it makes you do something, isn't it? Because if you don't do anything, you've got nowhere to sleep tonight or something.
Like
you know
the Chicago situation, we actually both had our heads switched on about it, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a clue what we were doing.
Imagine being 17 when that happens, though. Like, we'd be fucked, I think.
Imagine it happening in, like, Africa or something like that, in a country where it's not as easy to sort out.
But do you think, improve your self-confidence, do you think you need someone else to do that as well? So say if we went to Chicago, I left with Ashley and it's just you on your own, and it was only you had your passport stolen. Would you have the confidence just to be as chill? Or do you reckon, because I was there as well?
No, I'd probably,
we'd just stay level, just play pack game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easier when somebody else is in the situation with you.
Common ground sometimes. So... isn't it?
Keeps you grounded.
Like, hopefully in the new year, if we're learning skiing, I'd probably have more confidence doing it with you because I know it's be more banter, isn't it? Rather than it's just me. I feel like there's an expectation that I give myself all the time. When I'm with you, I feel like it's probably banter. If I fuck up, it's like jokes and that.
Yeah, and then you try again, rather than getting pissed off about something.
Yeah, exactly, which I would, because it's only me that I'm going to be pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll just vent. And maybe that's what you said, complaining, isn't it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I have too high expectations of what I can do sometimes, I think. Oh, actually,
I was going to say, we will touch on one more.
Have we only got some time left, is it?
With the other things as well. How many questions have we done?
6. No, 7. We've done 7.
Fucking hell, I thought we were on 9.
No. So we're going to do another video of it, yeah?
We will do a second episode. We will do... Did you want to do that 5-word thing?
Yeah, do that. We'll end it on that if you want.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, so we'll end it on the 5-word thing.
This is going to be funny because there's no thought involved with this at all. I'm going to keep these questions. We got enough for, like you said, loads of our videos then.
Yeah, because there's 100 in total, so, we could always go through all of the fuckers.
But like you said, they were open enough questions for anyone to listen to, do you reckon? So.
Yeah, play along, answer along. Next part will come out in the new year because we've got 2 planned.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas, and then I'll plan one, and then we'll do this again.
Just every now and then do a reflection. I think maybe like one a month or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So this can be banned sex. I do not know. I probably could do more fancy, but if you could only use 5 words, how would you describe yourself?
Are we doing it for ourselves, or are we doing it for each other?
I don't know.
I think it's more banter to do it for each other.
I feel like it's more of an interview question if you're doing it for yourself, isn't it? Going like, oh, I'm fun, I'm outgoing, I'll accept any challenge when given it.
Well, you've heard how much of a penis he is.
You've got the job, haven't you, mate? Fuck off. So I think it's funnier, like, for another person's point of view, what you could say.
So 5 words that describe you.
I would like to think of more fancy words and then say them to you. Because this
is straight off the dome.
Exactly.
So,
it's
right.
Basic 4-syllable.
There
we go. Thanks for listening. Just times 5. Because it basically is that existence.
Outgoing.
The whole joke.
You'll actually put yourself in the situations to better yourself or what you're doing. There's some confidence in that. The fucking basic ones, isn't that?
Yeah, but something.
Yeah, but you're fussy with words, aren't you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't know what to say to you.
So,
but you passed it in the end.
Sweat mode. When you get your claws into something, you get them in and you will go for it, won't you? Like you gaming.
Yeah.
You'll go overboard with it. Your music, you're just all in sort of thing. And
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't half.
So sweat mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just say it's sweat mode. So.
For like OCD, to be honest, a little hint of it. Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Meticulous, if that's the right word, where you're like very finicky and picky about things. Like I have to 100% this.
Right.
I have to get this song right.
Yeah.
I have to perfect. That's a better word. Yeah. So I don't know what meticulous would really mean then. I think that's more like picky about things, isn't it?
It sounds like
so. Yeah, you need to like. Oh, I have to get that little ad lib in. It's going to take me another hour to do, but
showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise.
So got it right.
It's probably better than perfectionist, to be honest, because perfectionist it has to be perfect, otherwise it's not going out. Whereas maybe, but then I'd rather, like you said, pay more attention to detail because I would. Say if you said something to me, I'd rather pay attention why you said it as well, rather than just perfectionist, isn't it? I'm paying attention to like the little things. Okay,
and you've said it already this episode, but it is so overthinker.
Yeah, exactly. We need a flaw in there, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? We said you're hyping me up, and then all of a sudden you overthink like shit, mate. You need to calm down.
That's when I just drop the mic and go.
That's how you felt good. My balloon was all full, and then you just fucking shat on
yeah, you can't give you too big
exactly.
heads.
You've got to be grounded.
Get out the door.
Yeah,
exactly. Got to be grounded. Can't let you float away with that fat head like Mr. Mackey.
Exactly.
Okay.
At least it's not an airhead. Well, maybe.
Right.
You. Don't know. Honest. This will be the first one, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Singing. Hence Carl Pilkins. Yeah. I don't know the others. You could say adventurous to some extent, isn't it? Or spontaneous rather than adventurous. Because I think you could probably drop your plans and just do banter, couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Whereas adventurous, I'm not sure whether would you want to book a hike to the Himalayas tomorrow solo? Exactly.
No chance.
But spontaneous would be like, oh, we've got this package for you to do it. Can you do it next week for a certain charity with, I don't know. You'd be more inclined to doing something, isn't it? Or I ran a card to you saying, do you want to climb Everest next week, mate? Yeah.
So my thing now would be as long as somebody else is involved.
Yeah. But you got that spontaneity about you, though, where you could just do it. You haven't got like, oh, I haven't got to watch. You know what I mean?
Just
like,
to say, fuck it.
Oh, The Office is on next week. I don't know whether I can make that. Fuck off. Active,
yeah.
You like to stay active, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you got like an active mind, but like physically as well.
Yeah, even mind, like even just watching.
You just
TV,
want to do something, isn't it?
You can't be left with your own thoughts for too long.
So yeah, it's better me thinking about it because I'm just gonna half-ass it. Like I would have thought of a better word.
Well, if you think of anything better, you can always mention it next time we do this.
You would say like hardworking, saying like if you actually like the thing that you're doing, you will do a half decent effort. You know, like editing the Out in the Trees videos, isn't it? Like we actually did it to a decent level. You're not just like, oh, that'll do.
Okay, so I agree with that to a certain extent, to the point that I'll put the effort in no matter what it is, kind of thing. If I have to do it, like say work
or your work, yeah. Like say,
I don't really want to be there, but I'll make sure I do the right job. Like customer service, say. If I was in their situation, I wouldn't want it to be shit. So I'm going to do my best to make sure they get the best experience. Kind of thing. Even if I don't want to be doing it.
Yeah, like you just have that work ethic and standard about yourself that you want to do it, isn't it? As soon as you have a lazy mindset, you'll just be bellend. I don't know.
More, which is probably going to be something negative now, isn't it?
I couldn't say like insecure or anything because you know yourself, isn't it? But the fact that it's like low confidence or whatever. But I wouldn't say antisocial.
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely say that.
Say that? That's what you are, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not loner, but because you like hanging with people, you like doing football. A loner is you don't want to do anything with anyone, but you will do the thing that you want to do, the activity, but the social aspect of it, going out for like you couldn't care less about.
Well, no, even say let's take football into example. I will turn up and play football every week. Well, I won't necessarily talk to anybody there.
Exactly, but you want to do the activity because you like being active and doing the sport because you actually like it. But the people, you could have someone new every week join, you wouldn't care. You could
No,
just
it's
play
just
in
there then,
Mongolia
aren't
if you
they?
wanted to, wouldn't it? And as long as you're playing football,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because that's what the language is to you, isn't it?
I
Football.
could probably get into the Mongolian team.
I would, yeah, but I'd happily do that as well. Like, I like meeting new people all the time. So it's like even
Fuck
if
that.
every week you add a new team, but you're there to play football, so does it matter?
To some extent.
So you'd be that football player that does a transfer every month. You're like, I'll go out on loan to this team. Fuck it, like, I don't care. I don't like this team, so I'm gonna go to another team I don't like. I'll just go to another fucking team.
It's all right. So we'll take football as the example. It's all right as long as it's not like a clique.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
go
anywhere,
to
though, like
certain
that.
football teams and it's a clique.
Like
That's
an
why
office space can be like that.
that's why we've made our own football team because everybody gets equal chance and opportunity. You're not
Yeah.
going to go there and
'Cause you're
because
mates.
you don't know those people,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't get a chance.
Which any industry, again, I could link that back to the model industry. Absolutely, you could go down like that.
Music,
And
definitely.
music, yeah. As soon as you could have someone that made radio, but sounds shit.
It's not about what you know; it's who you know.
Yeah, and that's I've been told that a billion times, and it's just like sometimes it is. I'll suck your dick if you suck mine. It's fuck off.
I'll
No.
suck your dick if you sit on mine.
It's like nah, I'm all right. So I'll waste my
No,
opportunity.
I'm alright, thanks.
So
Cheers, mate.
there we go. That's the reflection. I don't know how reflective. I didn't go as deep as I thought because it's banter, isn't it? So don't need to go.
Yeah,
too
but I
deep.
feel like we can always pick out something like happens that makes it
Yeah.
jokes.
But like you said, it's cooler just thinking of the answer on the dot. If I actually sat down and wrote something, I probably could go in depth with it.
Yeah, but then you'd overthink it too much.
But then it could just be I'll go in depth with it and do that, and then you'll just have like a 2-word response. It makes me look like a bellend then because it looks like, oh, look at this
Well,
dickhead
I mean,
trying
you
to look really cool, isn't it?
you
And
do
then
a
you're
good
just-
chance. You do a good job of making yourself
Yeah,
look
exactly.
like a bellend anyway.
So why waste all
Yeah.
the like writing hours doing that? So yeah, no, I think it's better just doing it as like a 1-second response, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, like you said, it'd be one question an episode.
Yeah, give way too
Boring.
detailed.
So there we go.
Right, I've actually got a fact and joke this time. So
Yeah.
pick.
A joke.
I have one, but I'll decide if I want to tell it on the Christmas one as to how dark we should really go.
Okay.
Because some people at work didn't seem to like it.
Yeah, but fuck them.
Right, so they told me I'd be no good at pottery because... I fucked the joke! I knew I'd do it as well. Right, I'm going to say anyway, they told me I'd be no good at poetry because I have dyslexia. But so far I've made 3 jugs and a vase.
Fuck's sake.
I can't. Right, I'm going to tell the other one. Fuck it, I don't care. Right, so you kind of need the video to understand this.
Right.
Why did Jesus have so many followers?
Because he paid him well.
Because he was hung like this.
Fuck's sake.
Jokes.
Why did no one laugh at that? Because they're not religious. They just thought it was
They were just
offensive, did they? Yeah, right.
I said, do you know if there's anybody religious here? I'll go and tell them.
Yeah, but even
It's one of the more tame jokes I've
some
told.
of it's dark humour. You could be religious and still find that funny, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is funny, isn't it? It's
So-
true as well. Well,
If
it's
you're an
not
atheist,
because,
it's
you know,
funny.
Jesus ain't real, but...
Damn.
Right,
So
fact.
they say.
Fact.
Right.
I'll let you guess, actually. So roughly how much percent of SpongeBob viewers are adults with no kids?
27.
Oh! 25.
Oh.
So that's roughly. So the exact stat might be 27, you never know.
Damn.
But I found
Are
it
we
on
one of
Instagram,
those?
so
We're
it
the
might not even be
demographic?
real. Probably, yeah.
We are, aren't we? Adults, no kids, still watching SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last season. How many?
I don't know. Honestly, there's too many.
It's gone weird though. I like
Yeah,
the
it
old
went a
ones,
bit odd,
like
yeah.
Krusty Krab pizza.
Is the
That's the
pizza
best
for
season.
you and
Yeah,
me,
that's the
the
best.
Krusty
Squidward's the best. Oh, actually, the fun fact,
Squidward.
isn't it? With the reflection, the older you get, the more you relate to Squidward as well,
Oh yeah, definitely.
isn't
yeah.
it? When you're a
basically
kid, you
turn
just think he's
into
just a miserable prick. When you're older, you're like, I understand. SpongeBob is some ADHD.
SpongeBob is a nightmare, basically.
Yeah, imagine having that as your neighbour.
Patrick is most of your work colleagues, and then you are Squidward.
Yeah, Sandy's cool actually, but the accent's
Yeah, but
probably
that's where you get in and you clap those cheeks.
But Larry the Lobster. If you're a character of SpongeBob, who'd you be? Larry the Lobster.
Patrick. No fucks given. I mean, well, no, you just
Dumbass.
say Squidward actually.
Squidward, yes, you would be Squidward.
Grumpy motherfucker.
And you would go to Squidwardville as well. You know that one where he goes to that place where all Squidward?
Great place.
Or Plankton?
No.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, I'd be the one that goes, my leg.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually would, because my
montage of that
leg's
is-
constantly in there. Right, new music.
Chocolate. Albums. I'll be that one. Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday 2, Gag City Deluxe. Buzz, We Only Talk About Real Shit When We're Fucked Up. Duck Boy, Existential Hymns for the Average Sigma, Volume 9. And that was a bit of a flip, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's back to the good old days of skate.
I mean, that was Suicide Boys, but he is
Ruby the Cherry.
Ruby the Cherry doing his own, which is mad. Right, single, Logic, Conway the Machine, Riff Raff, Intergalactic Icons, Brennan Savage, Fire in the Sky, James Arthur, Sleepwalking, and Cigarettes After Sex, Motion Picture Soundtrack.
Sock.
There we go. We're done. Thanks for reflecting with us, Slade.
Yes.
Well, maybe in the new year. It's always good. Do you think it's always good to be self-reflective every now and then to ground yourself? Don't get carried away.
Well, that's how we keep ourselves grounded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like it personally.
Yeah. Shits and giggles, isn't it? We can find some funny stuff out of it anyway. So.
But you could probably have a group of mates who never mention it. I'd be interested to see what your life would go like if you haven't got anyone to really, tell you morals and ethics. Just do anything, fuck anything.
It's always good to speak your mind. Speak your truth.
Yeah, exactly. Be yourself.
Don't bottle things in.
Which is Soul Insights.
Yes.
Well, we should actually do the definition of that, isn't it? Which is representing individuality as Soul Insights. Which, at the end of the day, is you do you, which is your 2023 mantra. We're sticking by it.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Which we've done all this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do you. We'll have to think of a new one for 2024. Probably you do you. It'll forever be that.
It'll be the thing that I've said about 9 times so far this
Kill
episode.
yourself.
I don't think I've said that.
Probably said about 10 times, to be fair, rather than 9.
Yeah. No, I've been saying something. What have I been... What?
Krusty Krab pizza.
Yeah. No, I mean, when we listen back, we'll be able to tell what it is.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure I've been like, I keep saying this.
Okay.
So we'll probably
We'll do it in the new year.
Be able to tell, and then that can be it. Maybe. Or it can just be kill yourself.
Right, until next time. We're doing Christmas time. Jingle bellends.
Jingle bell ball bag. Thank you for tuning in.
Toodaloo.
Thank you for listening to another episode. You can find us on all streaming platforms under the SoulInsights Podcast. Please leave us a rating and review. Check out our socials at CSI Index,
TikTok and Instagram,
the SoulInsights Index,
YouTube,
SoulInsights.